Hello there, Ray here, and the latest 1.14 snapshot has arrived with some really cool changes. As you can see, we got some horses with new types of armor, as well as we got a new mushroom, and changes to do with the fox as well as iron golems and invisibility potions. I'll be going over the entire view of the 19W0A snapshot, and they have said that they are kind of winding down on the new features and will be mostly concentrating on bug fixes from here on. And don't forget guys, tonight we're going to have our snapshot testing Twitch stream, and we do have a server that the viewers can actually come on with us and test stuff. So it should be a lot of fun, and that'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. I hope to see all you guys there so we can play around with these new changes. They came out with a new mob in the game, and this is the brown mushroom, so you can summon them into the game. They don't currently come naturally in the game. You can see it says summon mushroom and the type is brown. So go ahead and we summon in. This is what it looks like. It looks pretty crazy. Definitely what you'd expect. And now this is kind of like a joke that they had during the Minecon. Corey jokingly said that they would introduce brown mushrooms in a future update. And he has been tweeting saying a lot of people have been giving him a hard time for the brown mushroom this week, and they have introduced this kind of as like a secret mob into Minecraft. I think it'd be really cool if they also introduce these naturally spawned into the mushroom biomes. And just like the red ones, you can go ahead and shear the brown ones, and you can see it will drop the brown mushrooms and it'll convert it over into a normal cow, just like you expect from a red one. They've now changed it so that iron golems will naturally generate with villages, so each village will have at least one iron golem in it. I think it's really cool that they have iron golems naturally generate with each village. That way they can somewhat protect the village, although, like I said, if a raid comes, it's going to be pretty tough for one iron golem to take on an entire raid. But of course the player will be there since the player is the one who started the raids. This way, at least when you come into a village, if you come in at night, there might be some zombies around it, the iron golem can kind of help you there. You also got some cats in the area, so the cats will keep the creepers kind of away from the place as well when you come into it at night. And hopefully that gives enough time to secure the villagers. But it would be nice if the village could like sustain the iron golem. Like, let's say if this iron golem would happen to die since he's fighting quite a few raids or maybe he's fighting some zombies off, then maybe another iron golem could come in and take his place. This probably also means that they have made some changes to the way that iron golems are going to spawn inside of villages, meaning the iron golem farms will probably have to be changed again. They've also went ahead and fixed the invisibility effect, so that way some things will not be able to be seen with that effect on them. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So like we've seen before, wandering villagers at night will drink their visibility potions. And before the zombies were able to detect the wandering traders even with their invisibility. You can see the guy is way over here. He is still trying to run away from the zombie, but at least the zombie can't see him anymore and can't just directly run towards him. And this makes a lot of sense since he is wearing the invisibility effect. He should be somewhat unseeable. Let's put a zombie right beside him. And yeah, he's still not able to see it, and the wandering trader is trying to run away. I'm really glad that Mojang took our suggestion and went ahead and fixed this invisibility problem, because this allows it so that people will more likely use invisibility to move mobs or even use invisibility on themselves to avoid some monsters. Here you can see the iron golem taking care of some of those zombies that are coming into the village. They came up with a brand new recipe, and this is horse armor. It's a leather horse armor that can be crafted up. This is the recipe for it. And this will produce one leather horse armor. And just like the other horse armor, it's not stackable. So you can see how it compares to the other horse armor in the inventory. Now they also retextured some of these horse armors. Before they look pretty weird, so let's go ahead and put the leather one on and compare it with all the rest. Oh wow, that looks really nice. And let's go ahead and throw the iron one on as well. Here's the gold, here's the diamond. So there's diamond looking, and there's the gold. I really like the gold look. The iron one kind of camouflages with some type of horses, such as this white one here. But yeah, the leather one's pretty cool all by itself without even being dyed. Now the way that you dye the leather horse armor is similar to dyeing other types of leather. You just put it inside of a crafting grid, and you can put colors with it, so that'll make like a lime green color. You can put multiple colors in there, and it'll try to combine the colors. So we got this color here, and you can get as many weird colors as you want. I think this is really cool. It's kind of like customized in your dogs with the different color of dog collars. Then you can go in and you can customize your horse instead of just having leather horse. Let's say this is your fast horse. So you can illustrate that by maybe having some lime green on it. That way you can easily distinguish between your different type of horses. Now there's a nice difference between like the metal armors and the leather armor. You see this leather armor, how it has these black trim around it? It really makes it stand out compared to the metal ones. Now, if you're wondering if you can like craft up the other variations, like if you can craft up like gold armor using in the crafting grid, no, you still cannot. So you have to find those inside of chest. They fixed that bug to do with foxes being able to equip armor. So now you can see when we try to equip the armor using a dispenser, it just flies out and doesn't actually go onto the fox's inventory slots. That was a pretty funny mechanic, having foxes with some really OP armor, but it kind of made sense that they would have to eventually remove that, since it most likely was unintended. They also fixed a bug to do with the fox's hitboxes, so I'll just do F3 plus B, and this will show the hitboxes. You can see now the hitbox, instead of being extremely high, is kind of down low. You can see this actually causes the foxes to drown. Before it was high enough up so they wouldn't drown. You can see it kind of sits low enough so that they could drown. We just seen that guy taking some drowning damage. And if we go ahead and make a baby fox, you see that his hitbox is pretty much the same as it was before, which is still incorrect, as the red little line is higher than the white line. This essentially means that if he hops upwards, like he tries to hop on top of a block right here, if he collides with this block, he'll actually be able to take suffocation damage. And once again, his hitbox is also low enough so that when he's in the water, he will eventually die. And there he goes. As long as it kind of comes up above the water, it can get some air, but once it's underneath water, eventually going to run out of air bubbles and it's going to die. And there he goes. They also changed the way that fox will display that they're being tamed. So here is the new NBT tags of a fox, and down here you can see the add new one. It's called Trusted UUID. So essentially what this is going to say is the people that it trusts. So if you get a fox to be trusted, your UUID would end up in this slot here. And then that way, every time this fox would be around, it would know that it would be tamed towards you. If you guys remember in that last video where I talked a lot about foxes, I was having the problem where I was trying to copy a tame fox over and over again, so I have a whole bunch of them, and it wasn't working. That's because there wasn't this tag at the time. So hopefully this will allow it so I can easily do more testing with tame fox. They fixed a few bugs to do with the way that textures show in the game. They also said that they have fixed the bug to do with tessellating liquids, and this is like the shape of the liquid. It was causing the game to crash. Now they did previously say that they fixed this bug, but it wasn't fixed, so hopefully it really is fixed in this version. Because a lot of people were doing a lot of exploring, and it was causing the worlds to crash quite often. They also fixed a bug to do with players being invisible while being around shulkers. If you guys ever seen us collecting shulkers on the Protect server, you'll notice that whenever we would get like underneath of them, or above them, the shulkers would still be able to see us while we're invisible, even though we were quite far away. And they finally fixed this, which is great. They said they fixed a bug to do with smooth quartz blocks not using the correct texture. So here I have 4 different types of blocks. So this one over here is 2 quartz slabs, and you can definitely see the difference between those, and these are smooth slabs. So the difference you notice is this edge right here. It's this little edge coming up and over, and you don't see any of the edge on these blocks here. Now this over here is just a solid block, and you can't really notice any difference between 2 slabs and a solid block, similar to that of like sandstone. And on this side you got the 2 smooth quartz slabs as well as the full one. And those guys you can't really distinguish them apart either. But they did fix the way that Ravagers will attack villagers, and that is now they'll have it so that the villagers will actually try to run away from the Ravager. Before, the villager would run away from other things, but the Ravager would just come over and kill these guys. Now they made an unfortunate change to the Wither Rose, where it was able to sit on top of other blocks. So it could sit on top like a hopper, that way you could put it like in a farm, and the Wither Rose would be able to kill stuff, as I've shown in my Wither Rose farm. If you're curious about that, I'll put a link down in the description. But now essentially the Wither Rose is very similar to other flowers, so it can't be placed on any block besides those that normal flowers can be placed on, such as like dirt or grass. So most likely when you do use this in a farm, you'll have to go ahead and place hopper minecarts underneath to collect the items. Or you could come in and place it in something like a farmland where it's slightly shorter, so hoppers will be able to pull items off the top of them. But this change unfortunately breaks my witch farm that uses wither roses on top of hoppers, which is a really compact and simple way to make a witch farm. They made a change so that the berry bushes can now be flammable, so you can start them on fire. So as you guys know, you can distinguish campfires just by putting some water on it, and you can light them using like a flint and steel. They also allowed it so you can now use a fire charge, which also has the different textures to relight them. And of course you can use like a bucket of fish to also put these out since those contain water. They also made it so that it's possible to put out a campfire using a bottle of water. So this is a splash one, so I can throw it onto the campfire. Oh wow, that is really cool. I really like that effect. Let's try it with the awkward splash potion as well. Nope, let's just be bottled water. Now one thing they haven't fixed for quite a while is that blazes, when they're killed by a player who throws water bottles on them, they never will actually drop their rods. And rods are normally only dropped by a player kill. So you think similar to like he's throwing like a damage potion onto a mob, When the mob does die, it should drop XPs as well as any loot that's player killed, and this is something they should fix. I'll have the bug report down in the description, and I'd be really glad if you guys would upvote that. Because if that was fixed, then you can make blaze farms where the player would just throw water bottles instead of having to make like damage potions or other means of killing them. Since splash water bottles are really easy to brew up. They fixed it so that baby pandas will now spawn naturally inside of bamboo jungles, and before only adults were doing that. They also fixed a pretty annoying bug that you guys might have noticed during streams. When I would go into the settings here and then go into options, when I would click once, it would click twice and make 2 clicking noises. And also if you click around the black screen, it would also make more clicking noises. They have now fixed this. They've also went ahead and fixed this slider up here, so now you can actually slide these sliders. They've also fixed the way that fox babies are now going to be trusting the player. Before, as you've seen, it was pretty glitched out. There was a way to get them trusted by using a lead. That was unintended. And now you see we got baby fox here. Let's go ahead in survival and see if he trusts us. You can see the adults run away. I think if the baby grows up, then he won't try to follow the adults. Let's grow him up. Okay, so this one here is the one that we tamed up, and he's no longer with his parents. Let's go into survival. Oh, cool. So he doesn't run away from us. And you can see the parents, yeah, they already took off. They're pretty scared. So he's not scared. That's cool that they fixed this. They also fixed it so that fox won't pick up items and eat them while they're sleeping. So you can see that he picks up the item, but he won't eat it while he's sleeping. They also fixed it so that ocelots as well as stray cats will no longer run away from the player when he's in creative. If you guys seen our last stream, we were trying to do quite a bit of testing to do with stray cats as well as tame cats, and they just kept running around. So this is a nice change. They fixed quite a few different bugs to do with mobs and invisibility, so hopefully we'll see more consistent results across different mob types. They changed some of the textures of blocks, so you can see the grass here, how the edge of it comes down a little bit more down, as well as a little bit more jagged. Looks more natural. Here you can see a snow layer, where you put a snow layer on top of grass, it will convert it into a snowy block. And you can see this comes down quite a bit more, so it kind of blends it more with like the side. I know a lot of people do retexturing of blocks where they just hold the side green. So this is kind of like a compromise, making it come down a little bit lower so you don't see so much dirt on the edges. They also did a bunch of other little fixes, but one was actually a security issue that they labeled as recalibrating the connection to the bovine plane. So with the changes that they made to the way that villagers put their structures into the game, you can see like when they come into something like a ravine here, they don't just fill this whole thing in with like cobble like you would see in the past. So now we just got a little floating house here. Some pretty big changes to nerfing of different things as well as adding in new features. I'd really love to hear what you guys think about this, as well as if you guys have any ideas of things that we should test during a snapshot stream, go ahead and tell me in the comments and we'll be testing that tonight. And if you did find this review to be helpful, please give it a like and share it with others. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!